Okay, so I'm on my way to the beach. I'm going to go to the boardwalk and I'm going to start my routine, which is my walk. I have my stepper counter, and right now we're going to get started. So this is how I start my routine. We're going to go up this way and we're going to walk towards the boardwalk, and we're going to show you what my day consists of. So it's a beautiful day. It's early in the morning. It's probably about 7. I normally start at about 5:36, but I got up late today, so we're just going to start our walk this way. So yeah, come with me on my journey and I'll show you what my day is like. On your walk, you do see wildlife. So there's a turkey, and I don't know if you can see, but there's a couple little babies there with her. Try to zoom in, and you can see the little babies. So yeah, that's what I see normally when I go for my walks. So we're going to turn up this way, and we're going to keep heading back towards the beach. Okay, so we're crossing Father Capodanno, and I'm actually entering Staten Island Beach, South Beach, I think it's called. Actually, this portion is called Midland Beach. So I basically start my walk from here. I wait until I get up to the boardwalk. So to get here, it took me, like I said, 2,500 steps. So I'm debating whether I should walk the boardwalk today or I should walk the bike path on the bottom, which sometimes I do because that actually I don't have to walk down the ramp. Okay, so this is the beginning where I start my walk, the fountain, which they don't have on this year. I don't know why. It's not like they're running out of water. Okay, so we're heading to the beach, and this is where I start. This is basically the middle. So I could either walk down that way, okay, and do my walk that way, or I'm going to go this way because I am going to take you to Fort Wadsworth today, and that's a beautiful path to walk, and that'll give me a shitload of steps today. So yeah, the ocean is right there, so you can see, and Arizona bridges in the background. All right, so I'm heading on top of the boardwalk. Okay, and now I'm heading this way. So this is it. This is the beginning of where I start, and you can see the Arizona bridge in the background. I'm actually going to go past that, so it's a long walk, but I get my steps in. Okay, so I'm heading over. There's the ocean. It's on my right side, but I'm going to walk the boardwalk. I should have took the car today because I could have parked it right down there. And just to show you, on the way back, I'm going to be taking that path coming back, but I'm going to be walking the boardwalk going. I think it's easier. right now to walk on the boardwalk. Look how beautiful that is. So that's what I see every morning when I walk. So I started way down there. Doesn't seem so far, but it is. And I'm gonna walk as far as I can go. I'm gonna walk all the way to Fort Wadsworth, and then I'm gonna walk back. That should give me my 15,000 steps today. So I'm actually gonna speed this up when I actually put it together, so it actually becomes a shorter video. But yeah, that's what it is. There's the pier. If you look down there, you got a pier that people can walk down, which is really, really kind of cool. So yeah, so we're gonna keep going. Fort Wadsworth. Yeah, I'm starting to pant already, but you know what it is? It's because it's probably about 85 degrees already. There's Father Capodanno. Look how beautiful that is. That's really, really nice. Like I said, the sun is blaring, so it's a hot day, and I'm heading in that direction. So, like I said, I'm going to speed this up as I keep walking. Okay, so I'm walking to Fort Wadsworth, and it is hot, very hot, but no pain, no gain. I try to do this every day, try to get in about 15,000 steps a day. I wish people would clean up their dog's crap on the freaking boardwalk. They're trying to make it so nice, and some people just don't care. But yeah, I'm heading down there now, and I'm gonna be adding about 6,000 steps to my walk just going there. So I'll definitely make my 15,000 today, because another 6,000 coming home, and then another 25 to 3,000 going from the boardwalk back to my house. So see you in a bit. Okay, so they even have bocce ball here, picnic tables, like really, really cool. This is the ramp that I go down when I want to go over to Fort Wadsworth. Okay, so, but my goal is I have to walk to the very end of this boardwalk, which is right there. It seems like it's close, but it's probably about 200 feet. So I'm gonna walk there, and then I have to walk back. Then I'll walk down the ramp, and then I'll head over to Fort Wadsworth. Okay, so there's the boardwalk that I ended with the gate that I came down from. This is the path that's going to take you over to Fort Wadsworth. So we're going to go there. Another entrance to get onto the beach. But we're going to head over to Fort Wadsworth, which is a nice walk. So far, I did 5,500 steps. So I'm heading down here. At night it's kind of scary, but there's nothing to worry about, to be honest with you. It's really kind of safe here. No one really bothers you. Not that I've walked here during the night, but I'm always here. Sometimes I'm here so early in the morning, it's still dark outside. So, yeah. So, let's head on over. Fort Wadsworth is not that far away. There's a sign that's telling you that we are now at Gateway National Recreation Area, Fort Wadsworth, Staten Island unit. Hope you could see that sign, except for the graffiti. That's the only thing I hate. God, New Yorkers can't keep anything clean. For God's sakes. So there's the sign. Here's another entrance to get onto the beach, which is cool. But what a mess. I mean, really? They have to graffiti over everything? I don't understand. Okay, so we're gonna head over. This is the best part of my walk, because this right here, wait until you see, kind of makes you feel that you're not in New York, that you're like in Colonial Williamsburg in Virginia. There's another entrance to the beach where a couple of people, if you could see, that are actually going to the beach. But I'm going to show you a beach area. So that we passed the parking lot on the way back, so which is the closest one to Fort Wadsworth. There is a parking lot in Fort Wadsworth, but if you want to park to the beach area, come to the closest one to the Army base, park there, walk this trail. Even if you have to walk with your beach chair, a blanket, your cooler, just walk this trail, because I'm going to show you a little private little beach. It's not really private, but I don't think a lot of people know about this area, this part of the beach. But if you want to be secluded, okay, I'm sorry, I keep stopping in the middle of my talk. This is the Army base. This is Fort Wadsworth. There's a sign that says restricted area, keep out, authorized personnel only. So yeah, that's the Army base. And we are going to go along this path right here. So we're going to go down here. This is a beautiful, beautiful path. I'm thinking about getting a bike. I did have a bike. My brother-in-law, Tony Grosso, and my sister-in-law, Kathy, basically bought me a bike for my birthday probably about, I want to say 4 to 5 years ago. It was a really beautiful bike. I was so appreciative, so it's the first time someone actually ever bought me a bike. My father did buy me a bike when I was younger, but I appreciated this bike more as an adult. I got a lot of use out of it. Then after a while, I just didn't have the room anymore. So there was a young kid who lives in my development who didn't have a bike, and his mother was saying that he wants to get him a bike. And I knew my bike was really about 4 to 5 years old, and he kind of liked my bike, so I gave him the bike. So it did go to good use. I ended up giving it to a youngster who lived in my co-op area. So I'm thinking about getting another bike, but I'm thinking about getting one that folds, because my apartment is small and I have no room, so yeah, so people are coming, they're jogging, they're walking, so we're going to continue. I'm going to show you that little private beach area. So I didn't want to record those joggers that were on their way here. I think they work. I think they're part of the military base, so maybe they would have had a little problem of me not actually recording them, but them being in my view. So I decided not to, out of respect, let them jog on their way. And let me tell you, one of them had a body. Oof, jeez. Okay, so I think we're coming up to the part where, no, it's a little further down, where the beach I told you is like a little secluded. It's not private. Anyone can go there. I said it was private, but I think the word I want to use, it's secluded. Not a lot of people know about it. They like to park their car in the parking lot and they like to walk from the car. A couple of feet and they're on the bridge. To come here, you have to walk along this trail as far as I'm going. These are also apartments. These are apartments for the families of the United States Coast Guard. God, the government does take care of them. So that's really, really pretty. See, United States Coast Guard right there. You can see the sign. Okay. But yeah, so we're going to be heading down. Look, you find little paths that go into the beach. So again, yay, I'm over the 6,000 step mark. Okay, so we're going to be heading further down. I'm coming up to the area where I think I would like to come to the beach. It's such a shame that James, my better half, doesn't like the beach. I mean, it almost seems like he's allergic to hot weather. Well, I can see a lot of people probably hate the heat, but I love him anyway. We've been together for 42 years, a long time, so I'm used to his quirkiness. But he doesn't like the beach. He doesn't like walking around in the heat, which I don't blame him. A lot of people don't. But even, you know, if we decide to go to Florida to live, he's got to get used to it. You know, so I think you'll only be able to see him either indoors when you're having like a really, really cold spell. Okay, so here it is. It's called Fort Wadsworth Beach. So it's not that it's private, it's just that it's secluded. So this is Fort Wadsworth Beach, and the entranceway to get in the beach is here. So we're going to go through because I'm going to show you what it looks like. This still counts as my step walking, but this is really, really nice. Okay, so it's not that it's private. Anyone can come here and lay on the beach. Here it is. So okay, and yeah, you can basically lay anywhere you want here, as those people are doing there. There are some people way down there that are basically laying here, but you could come here, you could stay here. I don't know if you could see, there's that container ship I was telling you about. It's way out there now. Yeah, so we're going to be heading over to Fort Wadsworth, which is not that far away now. So we're going to head out, go back on the path. Ooh, Madonna mia, it's hot. So okay, so we're back on the trail and we're heading over to Fort Wadsworth. Okay, so this is the beginning of Fort Wadsworth. This is the lower level. This is where you could actually camp. I think most of these cars are here because down this road is another secluded beach that a lot of people don't know about. It's not private. Anyone can use it. Basically, you would park your car here, okay, like they did, okay, but you would come in from that direction, which is the way we're going to be walking, and you would park your car here, okay? So then what you would do is, once you parked your car, you would walk down that little path, and that little path right there will take you right to the beach. Very secluded. It's not private. Anyone can use it. It's really kind of cool. Okay, so this is a picnic area for campers with permits only. Okay, so you got a great view of the Verrazano Bridge, but we're going to have a better view. So now my walk continues. I just came from that direction, so we're going to walk over to this direction. Just put it on pause for now. Okay, this hill gets me every time, but it's beautiful. So you walk up this hill, you can See people coming out with their bikes. People do drive through here to go to that parking lot, but so you have to keep your eyes open and be careful. But as long as you stay on the right side, I think you'll be fine. So you can hear traffic, but that's all the traffic coming from, believe it or not, the Verrazano Bridge. Oh my God, I'm winded. Okay, 7,000 steps. Cool. So we're heading over. I love this part. I feel like there's no way you feel like you're in Staten Island when you're here. It's so beautiful. So there goes a biker just past me. God, give him a lot of credit. He rode up that hill. I'm having a hard time just walking. And I do this almost every day, so it used to be worse. Now at least it's tolerable. Okay, so you come out and you basically are in Fort Wadsworth. This is Fort Wadsworth Recreation Area. Panning up now. It's a beautiful, beautiful view of one of the towers, the Staten Island side of the Verrazano Bridge. We're going to be following that bike guy, so we're going to be walking up that hill. A couple of ladies out walking. So yeah, we're going to go up that hill next. Okay, so we're going to be coming out of that path, which I'll show you in a bit, but we're going to be walking up this hill. Okay, this is where it's going to give you that beautiful view of the city, the bridge. Look how beautiful. Look how absolutely beautiful that is. Everyone going to work. Work. What is that? What was work? Work. Oh, that's something that you had to get up in the morning, take a shower, brush your teeth, have a cup of coffee, get into the car, sit in traffic for about an hour and a half, go to work, 8 hours at grind. Actually, my job was so freaking easy. Believe it or not, I didn't even know how I kept my job. And they paid me so well. But when I did, that's the key word. When I did do my job, I did a really good job. So we're going to be walking down here eventually. Okay, there's a path. That's the path that we're going to be coming up. Okay, there's another beautiful view of the Verrazano Bridge. That's the Brooklyn Tower. This, of course, is the Staten Island Tower. Okay, so we're going to be heading up here. So we are directly underneath the Verrazano Bridge. There it is above me. Okay, this is a huge, huge bridge. So you can see parts of Brooklyn in the background. Okay, there's Brooklyn out there, or parts of Jersey. I don't know at this point. All looks the same. That's Manhattan over there. So we're going to be heading up this hill. We're going to continue. We're almost at the top. Once we get to the top, oh my God, this walk is killing me. I say that every time. I am at 7,200 steps. So I know going home, I'm definitely going to be over my 15,000 threshold. Let us. You can come here. You can actually picnic here if you wanted to. Lay a blanket down. Unfortunately, there are no barbecues, so you'd have to have sandwiches and cold chicken or whatever. But there's another view of the Verrazano Bridge. I'll see if I can get that shot with the sun just peeking out. Right there. I don't know if I have it, but that's a gorgeous view. So, Fort Wadsworth. This is Fort Wadsworth. This is one of the forts defender from the British. Yeah, so a lot of people come here. When I do walk to Fort Wadsworth, this is where I come. So there's Manhattan. This is all Fort Wadsworth. These buildings are from the 1700s. So yeah, this is when we were defending off the British. You have a nice view, which I'm gonna pull up and show you. So there it is. See? Defending New York Harbor. So there's the Verrazano Bridge. There's New York. There's the harbor. That's Jersey. There's the fort that we're going to be going to. We're going to be going down there. There's a ramp that leads down to there, so I'm going to show you that. But this is absolutely beautiful. It's a pretty clear day. It could be clearer. I think maybe the fires in Canada are still hovering. Not sure. But yeah. So these buildings, look at the earth just overgrew the roofs. But these are buildings that have been around for hundreds of years. So what are we in? 2023. So this is while we were fighting the British. Are you talking about the mid to late 1700s? I don't know if it's that old. I should have looked at the map that had the information. But if this was here to fight the British, then it had to be here during the, look how beautiful that is. Those are the groundskeepers. They take very good care of it every day. There's another perfect view of the bridge. We're going to be heading down there. So if this was a fort that was defending New York Harbor against the British, it had to be here from the mid 1700s. So if for any reason I'm wrong and you happen to know how old this is or when it was actually, what period, leave a comment for me so you can correct me. But I'm thinking it had to be here in the mid to late 18th century. So I'm thinking, yeah, that's it. So we're gonna head on down. Look at that nice view. Okay, we're gonna be going down there. People see that path? I don't know if you could see that path. We're gonna be on there. God, if someone threw you off, you die instantly. How beautiful this is. So we're gonna be heading down. Come along with me. Okay, so I needed to stop for a while. Basically, the only mistake I do when I come on these walks is I don't bring water, you know, but the only reason why I don't bring water is because I don't want to carry it. I don't know, is that being lazy? But I should bring something. But you know what? I do my walk so quickly within a 2-hour period that when I go home, I drink so much water. But I just wanted to sit and let you know that, you know, retiring at first was scary for me because I didn't know what to do with my time, you know, and I didn't know, I just was afraid that I was going to get stuck in a rut, you know, and just sit home and be on the couch all day and do nothing, you know, and then gain this massive amount of weight and just like, you know. But believe it or not, since I've retired, this is now going over 7 months now. I found myself busy almost every single day. I mean, I find things to do, and it doesn't feel like it's a chore. I mean, I enjoy waking up early in the morning, like I still do. I still get up at 3:30 in the morning. My husband still has to go to work, so I have a cup of coffee with him in the morning. I wish him well. He goes out to work. I start my walks when it's still dark outside, so it keeps me going. I come home, I take my shower, I have my breakfast, and then basically I figure out the first thing I do after I finish my breakfast I normally have my breakfast at about 8:30, 9 o'clock, because that's what time I get back from my walks. But already I'm thinking about what I'm going to have for lunch and what I'm going to do for dinner and what I'm going to make for James when he gets home. So I can't wait for him to retire. So, but I try to have a meal for him every single day. I try to make our own desserts. I don't eat dessert every day. I try to make dessert whenever we don't have it, because I'd rather make my own so I know what's going inside. And I can actually regulate the sugar and the garbage that goes inside of it. Yeah, I'm just taking a break. I am sweating to death. These little black bugs are jumping all over me. Damn motherfucker. Okay, so we're gonna still head down. So, yeah, remember, if you find this video interesting, I mean, I'm an old, it's not really old, 62 retired guy, you know, so if you'd like to see my journey throughout my retirement, click that like button, click that subscribe button, and click that notification button so you get all the videos that I actually start to post. Again, this is going to be my 8th, my 9th, I don't know, my 9th, so it's getting there. So far, I have one video at home I have to put together on how to cook tomato sauce with bell tomatoes, and I think that's my niece and my husband's favorite sauce. That's going to be put together and edited today. This one will probably be edited either at the evening or probably tomorrow. So let's head down to the bottom so I can show you the bottom portion of Fort Wadsworth, and I can continue my step count. So this is, remember, we came from here, okay, so I'm heading down here. I hope this video comes out decent, you know. Listen, I'm not a professional. I'm learning. It's a learning experience. I just don't want it to be total black that you don't see anything. But I'm thinking the phone probably adjusts itself to light, to the shakiness. So I think it'll be fine. So we're walking down this ramp. Again, this is still part of Fort Wadsworth. And I think this is also a residential area. This is where I think military personnel, I don't know if Fort Wadsworth is still a military base as far as active. I'm not sure. If anyone knows the answer to that, please put a post in the comments so I could find out. But there are some beautiful homes here, if you can see, and there are cars parked there, so I don't think it's open to residents of Staten Island. I basically think these are for military personnel. I actually feel like I'm in Colonial Williamsburg. And how and why? Like, look at that house. If that house does not belong in Colonial Williamsburg, I don't know what does. So, yeah, so now we're gonna head down. So there's a little play area. There's a nice little street. I think this is all for military. We're gonna head on down this path. Okay, so this path right here. Okay, so there's someone already in front of me, but I love this part of my walk. It's so beautiful here. I literally feel like I'm walking Colonial Williamsburg, Chesapeake Bay area, you know, on the way to like some little walk trail to like Jamestown. That's what it actually reminds me of. A lot of the old military facility, I want to say defending boxes, are still here. These have got to be from the 18th century. So I don't know if this was probably a lookout or some kind of military post where they kept a sentry on duty that had maybe binoculars. Oh, there's a little sign here that tells you. See, so I think he basically hung out in here. Okay, so that's where, see that circle? I think that's where a cannon turret was. So yeah, this is a battery. That's what that is. So yeah, they defended. These trees were probably not here at the time, probably cut down, but it had a perfect view of the harbor, and they would fire at any British ships they saw, even thinking about coming close. So let's continue our walk. So we're heading down further. Okay, this is where, look at that. Oh my God, that is absolutely beautiful. So you get to see nature. That is absolutely gorgeous. You get to see nature as you're walking, and he'll just leave you alone. He's not afraid. He probably saw humans He's absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Just grazing along. Absolutely beautiful. They're not afraid. They're not afraid. He's not tagged, so he's free. He's wild. So, look, you can go back there. There's the battery that actually look how gorgeous that is. So there is a battery in there. I don't think I want to go there, but maybe you're not allowed to go there, I don't know. But yeah, look how beautiful he is. He's so gorgeous. Good boy. Okay. He's going away. I think he's going away. Okay. Yeah, gorgeous. Okay, so we're gonna continue our walk and let him be. He's eating. So he's still there. He's absolutely beautiful. Yeah. So this guy's mowing the lawn, so it may be a little bit noisy. We'll see. Okay. So this is the actual fort, the lower portion of it that actually did the defending, where they kept the cannon turrets. You'll see right above is the Arizona Bridge. So, yeah, the lighthouse. This was, there you have a perfect view of the harbor. So, basically what they did, so it's the torpedo building, which is right here, okay, which is this building right here in front of me, and if you can see the tracks on the floor, they would wheel the torpedoes through that doorway. Well, that gate wasn't there probably, and they would basically, I get a little closer, they would basically have cannons in each one of those little cubbies. I'm going to actually zoom in because I think there is one cannon, which is, I can hold this freaking camera still, right there. There's a camera, there is a camera, there is a cannon in there. So each one of those cubbies was filled with a cannon. All right, so let's go back to our walk. Again, remember, this is all for my exercise. This is for my 15,000 steps a day. So, and I figured as a treat, I would bring you to Fort Wadsworth with me because it is beautiful. I come here probably, I want to say 2 or 3 times a week. It's really, really nice. I mean, why not? I'm a Staten Islander. It is in Staten Island. It's not that far away from my home. I don't have a car. My husband takes the F-150 truck to work every day. So it gives me an excuse to do my walking instead of sitting home doing absolutely nothing. So this hill kills me. So 8,300 steps. I gotta walk all the way back. I will definitely do over 15,000 steps today. So these are cannon turrets we're coming to. on the side. See? That's a cannon turret. Another beautiful view. Arizona Bridge. Okay, so we're going to be heading up and heading back. Okay, so we're going up this hill. We're still on the bottom level of Fort Wadsworth, and this hill's a killer. This is the worst hill because it is steep. And I'm starting to feel my legs burned, but that's a good thing. I did 8,500 steps so far. That's a little over 6 miles. So let's keep going. Actually, I don't think it is 6 miles. So I'll let you know what the miles are when I'm done. When I'm coming home, I'll tell you the total step count, and I'll tell you calories burnt, and I'll also tell you the amount of miles walked. So here we are again, back at the top. I showed you before when we first came in. We came in that direction, and we went up that hill. Now we're going to go back down that way and head back to the boardwalk. And this time we're going to take the walk, instead of the boardwalk back, we're going to do the lower level. It's cooler. Sun's really not beating on us that much, and it's a lot more tolerable, and it's a different view. Okay, so we're heading back down. Okay, the hill behind me is the Arizona Bridge. I don't know if you could see that, but there it is. So we're heading back down. Can't wait to get into that tunnel. It's nice and cool. So you have people doing yoga, really nice. I'm actually going to walk down the other side because it's cars. So now we're starting to walk in the shade. So yeah, this is almost every day. If I don't do this every day, I do around the neighborhood. But I try to get this walk in every day because it gives me the most amount of steps. But if not, I'll stick around the neighborhood. Also doing walking, someone's sending a text, so I don't want to answer that. So yeah, I love this part. This part is so nice, all the shade. Okay, so we're going to continue, and I'm so glad you came along with me. Remember, subscribe to my channel, hit that like button right over there, and hit the notification bell right down about there. Okay, see you in a bit. Let's continue. Okay, so I decided to stay on the lower level because it gives me a little bit more room a lot of people actually tend to jog, ride bikes, and walk up on the upper level on the boardwalk. And I came from that direction already, so it's a lot cooler down here. You have more trees to actually shade you as you're walking. There aren't as many people down here, and the boardwalk kind of makes noise when you're walking on wood. So I kind of like staying on the lower level on the way back. So it's a different view, but as you can see, I have behind me, you have the bocce ball court. So yeah, decided lower level this time, heading back. Okay. Okay, so that's what 15,000 steps looks like. Sometimes I go a little bit more. I think 15,000 steps is probably about, I want to say, a little over 7 miles, maybe close to 8, yeah, close to 8 miles. Sometimes I like to push it, and I used to do 10 miles, but then I said, why push it? If I could do at least anything over 5 miles a day would be perfect for me. So I've been averaging probably 7 to 8 miles a day. So I am done. I am about to head in. I know James has the central air on. I am going to have a shitload of water. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to relax. And then I'm going to put this video together. So talk to you later.